For the first time in 24 days, Atlanta United 2 has a home match in Kennesaw. Las Vegas Lights trying to stay above the playoff bar in an East-West crossover. It's the USL Championship on ESPN Plus next. Time for some weekend action at the Fraction. It's the USL Championship on ESPN Plus. Atlanta United 2, home for the first time in a long time, coming in with a record of 4-15-3. Vegas Lights coming in at 9-7-4 from the Western Conference. Mother Nature brought folks in a little late, but they're coming in here to fifth third alongside J-A-R-R-E-T-T Smith in for Jason Longshore. I'm John Nelson. Thanks for hanging out with us. And Jarrett, it's a tough turnaround for Vegas.
It is. The schedule makers won't get a Christmas card from Vegas. They played in the midweek in a rain-delayed matchup, a really tough loss to San Antonio, where they go down 2-0, and then they got to get on a plane and come to Atlanta, and then we just had a huge storm, kind of slow things down, and everybody getting warmed up.
Let's talk about players in the spot shed. A welcome home, Roswell Hornet, Cal Jennings.
Cal Jennings, 6 goals, 13 appearances. The danger man in the last game as well. Gave San Antonio a couple heart attacks in the second half. 2 big opportunities inside of 2 minutes. A danger man with speed to burn that could test Atlanta's backline.
For Atlanta United 2, another cool piece to the story of Atlanta United.
This is your next homegrown. It's Johnny Fortune signed his homegrown deal, which will take effect January 1st of next year. Fortune's really grown on this team from being a guy just getting his feet wet to learning on the job, learning how to impact that game without having the ball. But now, without Robbie Mertz, more of that falls on a Johnny Fortune. Can he fill those shoes?
We'll see if he can, coming up just around the corner. 17s are a little wet here with temps in the 80s. Here as Atlanta United 2 and Las Vegas Lights are coming up just around the corner. When we return, it's lineups in the first 45. Stick and stay. It's the USL Championship on ESPN Plus. We will return.
BB&T and SunTrust are now Truest, together for better.
You wouldn't put your team on the same field as the pros. So why would you take them to the same doctor? From growth plates to emotional needs, teens are different than adult athletes. Take them where they're treated that way.
Los accidentes suceden sin avisar y conseguir el tratamiento médico que usted o un familiar merece puede resultar difícil si no cuenta con la ayuda de un buen abogado. Por eso nos dedicamos a pelear por sus derechos, asegurándonos que usted no solo reciba la compensación que merece, sino que también reciba la mejor atención médica. Le atendemos en español. 404-888-8888. Bader Law Firm, comprometidos con usted y su familia.
Piedmont believes in the people powering Georgia. It's why we're leading real change in healthcare, to give you a better, seamless, more unified experience, so you can simply access and manage your care all in one place, with tools that make it easy to find and book a doctor from almost anywhere, anytime, and even check in before you walk in. Let's keep powering Georgia's growth. Piedmont, real change lives here.
BB&T and SunTrust are now Truest, together for better.
Welcome back to Kennesaw. Let the procession begin as we get you ready for the first 45 here with Atlanta United 2 as they host Las Vegas Lights. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. And Starting off with the visitors, coached by Enrique Duran. Looks like a 4-4-2 at least to start, Jared.
Yeah, it does, and this could change a little bit as the game goes along. Depends on how things go for Las Vegas as well. They're coming in on the midweek. They had a very long trip to get here. A little bit of rotation in this lineup, but you're looking at Jennings, Trejo up top, both of them big goal scorers. Traore and Bjorshaw both capable of really getting forward and causing problems outside. 3
changes from the midweek in the 2-0 loss to San Antonio FC. For the flip side, and Jack Collison for Atlanta United 2. This is what we know. What do you think?
What I think is this should be a very interesting way to see how they're able to get forward. And Bryce Washington, that right back role, how much does he get forward? How much does Highmar get forward? Morales dropping in, playing more of that 6 role that we're used to seeing him in, even though he's been forced into a lot of center back this year. And then, man, Orji and Cobb just have built a good connection there. Tristan Traeger up top, and you have the option here of bringing Jackson Conway off the bench.
You see big 3-6 down there, the last name on the list on the bench for Jack Collison and Atlanta United 2. There is the man in the middle, Alejo Kalume. We'll be keeping an eye on his whistle and what he thinks over the next 90 minutes. Your ARs, Seth Barton and Austin Holt. Your fourth is Kyle Johnston. Good look at David Mejia. Atlanta United 2, they are in the dress blacks with the 5 stripes going north and south. As you look at them in the first 45 minutes, they'll be working their way from right to left. Vegas in their road whites with the electric numbers, and a chance here off an awful pass working backwards. Not enough weight on it, and that's something to keep an eye on. Chance dodged there by Atlanta United 2. Our lineup's brought to us by our friends at Bader Scott Injury Lawyer.
And look, you want to be able to have that wet field like we see a lot of teams get it wet to get that ball moving quickly, but it rained a ton here before the game. Wouldn't be surprised if a few passes feel a little different on the weight.
So Vegas working their way from left to right as you're watching here in the first 45.
Interesting to see how Vegas builds their attack. They love the vertical ball. They love going direct. No call there.
No whistle there, and now we're going to get it.
Low. It's a late whistle.
Kalume waited on that one just a little bit, so it'll be a set-piece opportunity as the bump in the back on Cal Jennings. So let's see what Vegas Lights have in mind here.
It's a team that loves to go direct, and in situations where they're forced to carry the ball and build up, we may see them try and get those outside backs forward up the field, try and put those crosses and get bodies in the box and create a bit of chaos.
So it looks like Morten Bjorshaw is there, as is Darren Iskandarian. Only 5 position players for Vegas on their bench. Sweeping in, big paw up into the air, and a big save out of the blocks for Atlanta United 2.
Well, we were about to talk about Justin Garces, but Justin Garces picking up where he left off last time. And I understand he gave up a couple goals against Tampa, but my goodness, what a save. That's going to be one of your candidates for Save of the Week in USL.
Corner here as we get toward the 3rd minute quickly for Las Vegas. Looking far post, punched away once again by Justin Garces. Trying to chase after it, Crisostomo and David Mejia. Atlanta United 2 touches at last. It'll be a throw for the visitors. They'll go all the way back to Tomas Romero.
They're not afraid to get that. If it's not on for them, they are not afraid to play it back and then try and play this long ball, get in that second ball, and it's going to be a big deal for Atlanta United too.
Trejo looking inside the 6, headed away by Noah Cobb. Bryce Washington chasing after it, won't track it down in time. It'll be a throw for Vegas Lights, and Mohamed Traore working quickly into Ima Almaguer. Traore with the left and up and over everybody. It'll be a goal kick for Atlanta United 2. Your keys, Jared Smith, as we were looking at what might be going on in your mind. Keys to the match today.
So keep it clean for Atlanta United 2. This is a team that loves to build up the way they play. They've got to be clean on the passing because they make mistakes in the midfield with passing. They misplay a ball. Vegas is a team that's going to get you turned over and go direct and then use your width. Cashman Field, where Las Vegas plays, is one of the narrowest fields in the league. They play on a narrow field. It's kind of the way they operate. Atlanta can try and get forward to guys like Highmar, as you go Mejia.
David Mejia, big save, Romero. Almaguer was there to get it out of the 18. And here comes Atlanta United 2. Highmar. Firmino. Into Traeger. Looking for Mejia. Mejia with the splits can't get to it in time. Vegas Lights will clear. Orji will let it roll out.
Well, Vegas almost violated one of my keys to the game for them. Because one of my keys for the game for Vegas is don't fall behind early. It's a team that's coming on a cross-country trip from a midweek game, and you can't fall behind early and have to chase the game and wear yourself out even more.
Noah Cobb tracks it down for Atlanta United 2. Nelson Orji. Looking for Traeger. Traore was there first. Christian Torres gained possession for Vegas Lights.
It's those moments that Atlanta's got to be good about making those line-splitting passes at times, but you want to make sure that you don't turn it over in position where Vegas can turn and go immediately.
Trejo lost possession, defended from behind by Orji. Here comes Atlanta United 2. Mateus found Traeger. Traeger gets past Traore. Two Vegas players bump into each other, and they're going to call the foul on Tristan Traeger as he was charging into the 18.
That's great work from Traore, too. Traore was way up the field looking for a cross to try and diagonal to switch play. He hauls tail all the way back, gets in there with Traeger, and has a collision, looks like with his own teammate.
Yeah, it looked like it was Lara and Traore, and they called Tristan Traeger for the foul.
That's great hustle, though, from Traore. And it very easy at times to just let off the gas a little bit, but he kept the gas pushed down all the way, got back there, and negates what, as we've seen from Tristan Traeger, he doesn't need a lot of space. Does a good job of negating that opportunity.
Big greeting to everybody who was watching the first team play up in Chicago for the goalless draw against Chicago Fire. Very, very busy day in both Major League Soccer and in USL Championship. We'll get into some of the eastern half of the country scores coming up at halftime, some of the other games that you'll need to keep an eye on. Very busy time. It's cramped in the Eastern Conference in Major League Soccer, and you've got teams that are trying to solidify their spots, like Vegas in the Western Conference. Great work from Mateus to Mejia, looking for Traeger. Goes through the goal mouth. Firmino looking far post with the right. Clicked and big save. Romero. David Mejia had it tracked. Great touch from him, but Tomas Romero was there.
Well, if you wanted a game that's wide open, we got you one in Kennesaw. My goodness. That's two chances from Mejia in the first, 7 minutes of the game. And Atlanta broke through that pressure just a little too easily for Vegas, and they were able to stretch them out. Mejia's able to get free, play the ball to the right, comes back to the left. It's a great save in the edge of the goal mouth to also not only to make the save, but not spill it.
I'm going to say that Iskandarian touched it last for Las Vegas. It'll be a throw for Atlanta United 2. Mejia. Fans want a foul, didn't get it. Fortune wound and fired. It was blocked, and back comes Vegas the other way. Cal Jennings on a full sprint trying to get past Noah Cobb. Noah Cobb backtracking nicely, but Trejo's there in the backwash. 3-on-2, deflected wide. It'll be a corner for Las Vegas.
That's what you got to watch out for with this team. They're going to apply selective pressure. They're going to see their triggers. They're going to press you. But when you get the ball advanced and you turn it over, a guy like Cal Jennings can just turn it into a track meet. They're going to find that ball over the top. And it's not only important to win that first ball like we saw Noah Cobb did. You got to have somebody win that second ball as well. Get it under control. Don't let them get the ball and then start working their way to the left or right and finding those second runners.
Iskandarian will take the corner. Late here in the 8th minute. Back and forth from the absolute beginning here at Fifth Third Bank Stadium. Bryce Washington won the header. Full work right there. Fifth gear is Highmar.
That's good. That's a good look.
Nice ball to Firmino. Sweeps it in with the right. And Mateus tries to go on the volley, and it ends up going wide and high. It'll be a goal kick for Atlanta United, too. This one has the throttle wide open in the first 9 minutes.
Yeah, first 9 minutes here have been insane. Good defensive work from Atlanta United, too, on that set piece. What Bryce Washington gives you there is that size and physicality, but then getting Highmar out and being able to run, creating that opportunity.
K9. All the way across to Lara. Lara goes back to Tomas Romero. Cycle starts again. Atlanta United 2 trying to figure out when to pounce with their press, withdrawing a little bit. Mateus with some pressure. K9 over to Lara. Lara's got some space on the right.
Invite him to try and build it up. They go long instead.
Well done there by Noah Cobb to keep it from getting to Trejo. Here comes Atlanta United 2 near center circle. Efren Morales with his first touch to Noah Cobb. Spins away from Trejo. Over to Nelson Orji.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised to see Atlanta try and get them sucked into one side of the field and hit that big switch and try and spring it going the other way. It's a difficult ball to hit, but against a team that's used to playing so narrow and can at times play very narrow as they try and go long, it can be a really effective way to open things up, as we saw earlier.
Efren Morales was looking for David Mejia on that one. Too much on it. Here late in the 10th minute from Fifth Third Bank Stadium in Kennesaw, goalless Atlanta United 2 and Las Vegas Lights. Alongside Jared Smith, I'm John Nelson. Once again, thanks for hanging out with us, however you are doing so. There's the press by Atlanta United 2. Romero finds Traore. Bryce Washington tries to close. Traore spins from one direction to the other. Found a partner, but the pass ended up with Nelson Orji. Here comes your pressure once again from Iskandarian. No whistle from Calumet, and here comes Atlanta United 2. David Mejia. Mejia, Traeger, Highmar. Firmino looking far post, headed up into the air, and it was going to be goal kick. Last touched by Atlanta United 2 and Darwin Mateus.
Darwin, not really your quintessential target forward in the box. But a good look from Atlanta United 2 there to be able to build up the attack again. Use some of that width. Try and stretch out this Las Vegas defense.
Pressure by Traeger on Lara. Trejo looking for Jennings. Nelson Orji had that one policed pretty well.
One of our keys to the game before we were cut off by the insane start of this game was that Vegas is going to have guys who can try and challenge Atlanta United 2's back line. So there's a good switch over to Washington. You've got guys who are going to challenge a Noah Cobb and Nelson Orji and try and make those vertical runs. It's going to be on Atlanta United 2's defenders to be able to run with them and also read the passes. Read if it's something you can cut off. Read if it's something you need to run with if you need to square up with somebody.
Highmar in the corner. Crisostoma was there. Chested down by Mateus and having to save it from going over the inline. Tomas Romero to keep it from being a corner, so it'll stick with Vegas Lights on possession. Quick outlet to Traore.
Darwin finding a lot of space, kind of sitting back there. He pulls himself back in, kind of that 10 false 9 kind of thing going on with being able to get a little bit of separation from the center backs. To get a bit of a foul there. I believe there's Almaguer.
It's on Almaguer by Tristan Traeger, so it'll be a free kick for Vegas Lights here, early minute number 13 at the Proving Ground.
And so Darwin's found that space at the top of the box where the center backs aren't right on top of him. He's able to pull that ball down, take a touch, and create a dangerous opportunity.
Looking for Jennings. Cobb won the joust. Johnny Fortune comes down with it. Fortune wearing the armband tonight for Atlanta United 2. Traeger. Tracked by Traore. Back to Bryce Washington. Back and forth with Efren Morales.
You see Fortune there telling everybody just calm it down, take your time, build it up. Don't do anything rash. Don't do anything sloppy. Just play under control. Nice turn from Darwin.
Mateus. Trying to spring Mejia. Too much on it. It was an easy grab for Tomas Romero.
I think that's what Fortune kind of brings to this now with him having the armband, getting it kind of passed on to him from Robbie Mertz, who had carried it for the last 2 years. He's a guy who's learned from Robbie, and he's learned how to impact the game. So here we go. See Atlanta hit the triggers for their press.
Almaguer had to get rid of it quickly. Jennings
good work getting through it.
Back and forth, and Cal Jennings now. Good work down the middle. Trejo having to chase as Highmar and Bryce Washington deflected in the defense, and it's going to be a corner for Vegas Lights. Vegas Lights got Atlanta United 2 in transition, and we got to see how dangerous Danny Trejo could be.
They did. They did a great job of fighting through that pressure. Atlanta saw something to trigger that press. They get forward. They almost get them turned over, but Vegas does a great job of passing their way out of it. Just good, simple passing, good weight on everything, get a dangerous opportunity, and good recovery from the back line by Atlanta.
Iskandarian will take the corner. Mateus just inside the 18, looking toward the top of the 6th, headed down, and a foul on Las Vegas, so it'll be a free kick for Atlanta United 2 here in the 15th minute.
So another challenge there for Atlanta United 2's back line. Again, when you do press and when you do try and get someone turned over like that, you do run those risks of having your defenders exposed in 1v1 opportunities. You're challenging them. Nelson Orji, Noah Cobb going to be challenged. Bryce Washington going to be challenged. They passed that first challenge.
Orji in possession right now. Back and forth with Highmar. Cal Jennings in hot pursuit. Towards center circle. Won by Las Vegas and Christian Torres. Ima Almaguer gets away from Traeger. Back to Traore. K9 thought about Lara.
AJ just about took it off of him.
Trejo has Traore to his left. That's where he goes. Traore with the feed. And the back and forth with Christian Torres. Torres back to Traore.
And everything settled down a little bit from that frantic start, and I think everybody just kind of put their foot on the ball, just kind of calmed down a little bit. Nice move by Traore.
Toward the far post with the left, up and over everybody, and Iskandarian tracks it down for Las Vegas. Highmar is there to mark for Atlanta United 2. Step over. Works it to his left, tries to create some space. Grounder in toward the 6. Noah Cobb cleared, looking for David Mejia, and a push in the back and a foul by Las Vegas.
You don't mind that if it's Vegas because you stop any potential break from Atlanta United too. And Mejia always looking for where he can hit that pass that one time, if it's a header, if it's with his foot, even with his hip.
Confusion here as to who actually had possession. Atlanta United 2 knocked it out. Vegas gives it back, and so we're back to being all square. Noah Cobb. Another piece of good news for Noah Cobb heading to the MLS Next Pro All-Star game.
Yeah, great news for him. He's earned it with the performances he's put on, not just with the second team here, but with the first team in camp this preseason. Is absolutely answered every challenge that's been put in front of him. For a kid who's not even 20 years old, he plays like he's in his mid-late 20s.
Mateus towards center circle. There's a good look at Noah Cobb. Good ball looking for David Mejia. Looked like he checked up a little bit. So Romero was there to clear. Chested down by a Johnny Fortune. But sticking with it was Iskandarian to win possession for Las Vegas. Spinning out of trouble was Bjorshaw. Goes back to Romero. Backward to go forward, but it goes right to Efren Morales. Mejia. Inside to Firmino. Mateus. Wide open is Orji. Orji looking far post, but Romero has it tracked all the way.
Orji stayed up from when he made that duel, and he stayed up and managed to work himself out wide, as now we see what Cal Jennings is capable of.
Noah Cobb tracks it down, and it looks like it's going to be a goal kick. Last touched once again by Las Vegas, but you mentioned Cal Jennings, Noah Cobb, two guys we've mentioned in the last 45 seconds. You got to see an ISO on reasons as to why both are excelling the way they are.
Yeah, I mean, one guy is insanely quick and very strong, and the other one has been showing that he is well beyond his years as a defender.
David Mejia bumped off the ball. Iskandarian for Las Vegas. Torres has to track it down all the way over on the far touchline. Almaguer back and forth with Trejo. Crisostomo cuts it back to Almaguer. Dekel K9 to Traore. Up the line to Torres. Well defended by Bryce Washington. Last touched by Bryce. It'll be a throw in here as we're in the latter parts of the 19th minute.
Interested to see how Bryce handles this evening. He's been working, getting himself back into fitness to be able to go 90 minutes. And we've seen him at center back. We've seen him at right back. And we've seen him have some good times and some bad times. And this is going to be an interesting challenge for him.
Trejo, Torres, centrally to Cal. And Cal works it to his right. Eskandarian tried to give himself a little space. Highmar there to defend. Highmar touches at last. It'll be another corner for Vegas Lights here in the 20th minute.
It's good from Highmar there. We don't talk about us defending very much because he is such an aggressive left back or left wing back depending on the system. But good work from him in that moment to stay close to him. It goes out for a corner but keeps the danger out for the moment.
Iskandarian now has a plan, headed toward the top of the sixth, and it is flicked wide. It's going to be a goal kick for Atlanta United 2. Yet another chance for Vegas.
He did, and it's a dangerous header there off that set piece, and it's one that Atlanta United 2 is going to have to be careful of going forward because Vegas Lights are probably going to create a few more of those, and they're going to have to be careful defending them. But also Vegas has to be careful because, as we've seen, Atlanta can be dangerous going the other way on them if somebody like Bryce Washington is able to get his head to it.
Too much on that pass, looking for Tristan Traeger over the top. Easy to grab for Romero, and here comes Vegas. Traore with a lot of room towards center circle. Sends it into the middle and Crisostomo. Trejo. Lara, pressured by Traeger. It's going to be a throw for Vegas Lights. Trejo and Cal Jennings responsible for 16 of the 26 goals so far. And there's your first look at Jack Collison, the head coach of Atlanta United 2.
Trying to go that direct ball, but so far it's just either been off or Atlanta's been defending it well. And they're going to have to keep doing so. You got to stay locked on, and that's the big thing with a lot of the younger players is you've got to stay locked in for 90 minutes, and it's so hard to do.
Looking for Torres that time. Bryce Washington tracked it down. Here's Nelson Orji. And he'll go back to Justin Garces. Noah Cobb. Surveyed forward. Looked to his left. Gave to Orji. And the three-man game once again with Garces. Gets it back to where it started with 39.
Well, I mean, it's the way Garces and a lot of these goalkeepers play with the Atlanta United system. They're basically another outfield player when they're not having to use their hands. Gives you another passing option, somebody confident with their feet who can get things moving side to side quickly. And at this point, you can move Vegas left to right, trying to find some opening that you want to attack.
Orji was looking for Highmar. The pass was over the touchline, and it'll be a throw for Vegas Lights. Just this side of center line. Won by Atlanta United 2, and all the way back to Justin Garces again.
It's a good tackle there from Orji. We've talked about him during the season. It feels like the more physical and kind of chaotic a game gets, the more he just steps up into it.
Foul on David Mejia as he was jousting with Bjorshall there. So early 23rd minute. No goals on the board for Atlanta United 2 or Las Vegas Lights. Pass for Trejo is there. Efren Morales is in retreat. Couldn't get the angle. Trejo, big save by Garces, puts up the left arm.
Just put it on repeat. Justin Garces.
He's feeling that one. Might have gotten him a little higher than just that intersection of the left arm. Let's take a look. Yeah, it got him right in the face. Right in the face.
Yeah. Well, that's the way that they were able to attack San Antonio so well. We know San Antonio is such a lockdown defensive team. They were able to attack them with those long balls on the left-hand side especially, and there you see it, and it's just a great save by Justin Garces.
Jennings tried to set up the left and get some space away from Efren Morales. It didn't work. Easy grab for Garces. Mateus spins away from Iskandarian. But the pass is picked off by Crisostomo. Iskandarian with it for Las Vegas. Back to Bjorshall, and he'll go all the way back to Tomas Romero. Traore calling for it on the left. Doesn't go quite that far. Goes to Deckel Canine, who will then give to Traore. Looking centrally. Efren Morales got the big left foot in the way. And Atlanta United 2's got numbers. Firmino back and forth with Mejia. Mejia charges forward, then tried to go to his right. Trejo was there to interrupt. Morales is there now with Bryce Washington.
It's an interesting part of Bryce's game as he's been trying to get better at it as the season goes on. As we know he can defend, we know he's physical, but the attacking part of his game was something that you wanted to see develop.
Orji. Highmar. The Johnny Fortune. And returned. Chip to the middle. Firmino settles. Looking for the through ball for Highmar. Too much on it. Goal kick.
That's the second or third time they've been able to find that little pocket, though, with Atlanta United, too. Getting the ball out wide and then finding those little soft underbelly of the defense just at the top of the 18-yard box.
Great work by Darwin Mateus to keep the charge from Traore initially, but he couldn't keep the ball in, so it's a throw for the visitors. Danny Trejo gets away from Tristan Traeger, gets away from Efren Morales. Cal Jennings decides to work it back to Bjorshall. Back and forth with Lara. On the ground to Danny Trejo.
That's right there is what they like to do in that midfield. You see, I mean, it's pretty narrow in the midfield, and they'll set up those little passing triangles. They'll be good to go. They'll try and progress it that way. And then when it's on, they'll be able to go long. And as you've seen, they can be very dangerous when they do that.
Traore, quick thinking, looking for Torres. Noah Cobb is saying that it went off of Torres last. Kalume doesn't buy it. It's going to be a throw for the visitors. Traore looking for a partner. Cal Jennings is there to be it. Jennings looking to his right. Not enough on it. Picked off by Atlanta United 2. David Mejia nicely controls to Highmar. Looking long, but Lara was there instead of Firmino. Traeger tried to get second touch. Didn't happen. Back to Las Vegas again here as we start the 27th minute here in Kennesaw on a Saturday night in the USL Championship.
I think this is how you prefer it to be if you're Vegas. The wide openness of the first 10 minutes probably didn't really suit them, as tired as they probably were and coming on short rest. But things slowing down a little bit, letting them get their foot on the ball, helps them maybe maintain some of that energy.
I'm going to call a foul on Trejo as he impeded the progress of a Johnny Fortune there. Morales back to Orji. Highmar down the line to David Mejia. Mejia looking far post. Traore was there to head it away. Mateus won the second ball. Two defenders for Vegas hesitated briefly. Fortune winds up with the left. It's blocked. It'll be a throw for Atlanta United 2.
Not a bad place to have a hit there, and a good job at just getting a body in the way and doing the work there by Almaguer.
Looks like Highmar is going to go along with the throw. Found his footing toward the 6. Foul on Efren Morales.
Those are so tough to deal with, too. Jack talked to Jack Collison about those a couple months ago. Those long throw-ins like that. The ball doesn't provide you a lot of velocity. It takes a lot of work to head it in the direction you want it to go and get it at the speed you want it to go. It can be really dangerous trying to get those long throws headed out.
Had to make sure that the second ball that made its way onto the pitch did not create a money ball situation this early on in the match.
That's after the 70th minute.
Exactly. Trejo back to bring it forward to Traore. Bryce Washington having to run back at full speed. Well done, Noah Cobb. Pass from Washington picked off by Las Vegas. Iskandarian. Almaguer. Traore. Wanted to do something inside the 18 with a pass. Goes back to Almaguer instead, having to work backward to come forward a little bit. Traore from Crisostomo kept his footing, and now you're going to get the foul call on Firmino.
He stuck his foot in there, got a bit of him. I think the ref wanted to see how it played out. No.
And Calumet is not going to allow the quick start that Crisostomo wanted to do.
It's worth a shot if you're Crisostomo. If he's going to allow it, yeah, you take it quick in that opportunity because Atlanta was still trying to get set up. And if he pulls it back, That's okay.
It looked like Calumet was about to try to work the magic spray. So here's another look. So Calumet reaches out for the magic spray, and then Crisostomo already starts, and Calumet's like, hold up.
Hey, like I said, I mean, if he's going to let you go quick, you go quick. If he pulls it back, he pulls it back.
Justin Garces directing a little traffic with Darwin Mateus, who's the only man on the wall for Atlanta United 2. Early 30th minute here in Kennesaw. Crisostomo with the right, headed away and down by Noah Cobb.
It's a dangerous ball right in that little bit of no man's land where Garces can come and get it, but it's maybe 1 or 2 steps, and if he doesn't get there in time, someone can get there and redirect it in. But Noah Cobb wins that race to it, pushes out for a corner. Now everybody's got to be alert.
Which means Darren Iskandarian will take the corner. And Calumet wants to have a discussion with some folks who are inside the 6. Mind your manners, please. Iskandarian, an in-swinger with the right toward the top of the 6, headed up into the air and out. David Mejia trying to track it down, and you're going to get a foul on Crisostomo and a talking to, perhaps, to the captain of Las Vegas.
And I like this from the official because even if he's not giving him a card there, it's not a situation where Atlanta's necessarily going to play quickly. Pulls him over there. Have that conversation. Establish with everybody that you're setting that line. Communicate with the players. Even if you're not throwing cards, it's a great way to keep everybody on control of the game.
Firmino tries to get away from Almaguer. He does. Give to Darwin Mateus with a lot of room. Mateus back to Efren Morales. And to Johnny Fortune. Mateus, in-swinger with the left, headed, looking for Traeger, up into the air, barely out. Mateus tried to sweep to try to regain possession away from Iskandarian. Couldn't happen, but Noah Cobb is there for Atlanta United 2, pops it up into the air. Traore gets there before Traeger does. Mateus gets it away from Iskandarian. Sweeps with the left up and over Tristan Traeger, and it'll be a goal kick for Vegas Lights in time for this piece of important information.
Select, celebrating its 75th anniversary. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. Choose what you play with at www.selectsportamerica.com. Select, league's choice, player's choice.
What he said. Sprinting down the right wing, it's Christian Torres. Nice pass into the middle looking for Iskandarian. Iskandarian thought about connecting with Trejo. Pulls it back to Traore. Back and forth with Almaguer. Firmino won it briefly from Traore, but Vegas kept possession. And stepping into the passing lane that time, Firmino, nicely done.
It's a good step from Firmino. Read it, did a good job. Everybody stayed compact, eventually gets that opportunity to spring something, and Atlanta can either settle down here or look big.
Fortune. Long ball to Highmar. Highmar settles it down, had Traeger in front of him, back centrally to Fortune. Dribbling to his left, through ball, nicely done there to Highmar. In with the left, far post, headed centrally toward the top of the arc. Fortune calms it down, blocked by Las Vegas.
Good job. Just get the body in the way sometimes. Doesn't have to be fancy.
Nelson Orji got the body in the way. Couldn't do anything with it for Atlanta United 2. Bryce Washington tried to close the gap with Iskandarian there. Game getting stretched a little bit.
But he does just enough there. That's fine from Bryce Washington. He does just enough to get in the way. The ball ricochets off of him. Sure, they keep possession for a moment there, but they're not able to break on that 2-on-2. Jack Ollison's not happy. He felt like his Nelson Orji was fouled there in the attacking buildup.
Yeah, the heavy rains that happened here starting at about 5 o'clock this afternoon. You get a handball call there on Vegas, or a quick throw for Atlanta United too. But yeah, the heavy rains that we had, and they were torrential for a good half hour, 45 minutes, created a bit of a weather delay when it came to any kind of pre-match practicing or anything like that. Didn't quite change our timetables, but it's now just kind of a bit of a drizzle, kind of the annoying rain that you'll see sometimes. And with the grass finally just about fully transitioned from rye to Bermuda for the late summer and fall sports here at Kennesaw, interesting to see as things continue how this will drain and how it will behave on days like this.
Yeah, we already saw it early in the game where an Atlanta United player took a touch that was just a little bit light.
Yeah. That was the one that
almost a goal in the first 20 seconds.
Yep. Bryce Washington sweeps it past Traore, ends up on top of the net, goal kick.
There's where you want to see more from Bryce on the attacking side, playing that right back. And it's not just a matter of, trying to score goals, trying to assist. It's knowing when to go, when to stay, when to go in that moment to create the most dangerous situation. We've seen him overlap a little bit where we saw, for instance, Darwin Mateus cut inside. And then you saw Bryce Washington try and fill that void. But it's knowing when to do that and make yourself available.
Christian Torres gets past Highmar, cutting it inside. Pulls it back to K9. Sweeps it to his left to Traore, who loses it out. And it's going to be a throw for the Twos. Can they capitalize here? Traeger lets it
nice dummy
go through to Firmino. Johnny Fortune had pressure from Crisostomo. A little help from Bryce Washington. They keep possession back towards center line and center circle. Noah Cobb will work it with the right over to Nelson Orji.
He's only been here for the summer, but it's been fun watching Tristan Traeger. Such a smart player, such a smart player with space. And there it gets a header in the box. No one's on the end of it. But just such a smart player, not only just with his ability to score and assist directly, but also with the way he manipulates space. Does a good job on that dummy. It's not a huge thing. It doesn't lead to anything big, but it kind of sticks in the back of your head a bit.
Firmino.
There's that trigger I'm talking
directing
about. Directing
traffic with Bryce Washington to Darwin Mateus, just past the arc. Cuts it past two defenders trying to work past the third and spin. Can't quite do it. Vegas comes away with it.
Jack Collison has more than once referred to him as our little magician, and he just about pulled a rabbit out of the hat at the top of the 18.
Foul on David Mejia there early here in the 37th minute.
John, you're from the west side of the country, and so I wanted to ask you about.
I have dual citizenship, sir, in both Georgia and California.
But you talked about all the rain we had. What's that difference for what the human body goes through in terms of that dry heat versus what you're feeling right now out here, which is just the suffocating humidity that comes after a Georgia storm?
I was going to say, you and I know what it's like here in the summertime, and there's a.
But for people who might not be used to it,
it just weighs on you, and I mean that both figuratively and literally. It turns everything into a slog, and it's like you want to wring out your clothes, and you want to wring out your body after about every 5 or 10 minutes having to deal with all of this stuff.
That's one where I'm wondering. A nice turn.
Trejo looking for Torres, picked it back up. Well done there by Nelson Orji to clear towards center circle. Trejo lost the joust to K9, but the second ball comes down to Atlanta United 2 with numbers. Darwin Mateus bumped off of it by Crisostomo, and that's going to be a yellow for the captain.
It's a professional yellow by Crisostomo. He's got to break that up. He does exactly what he should have done. There's nothing too dangerous, just bumps him and knocks him down, and there you go. Darwin tries to play it quick. Again, I don't blame him. If the ref pulls it back, that's fine. But Crisostomo's got to foul in there because it's too dangerous of a situation.
So there's your yellow on the captain. Morales surveying, goes quick start to a Johnny Fortune. Fortune was looking far post. Headed down, and a big save by Romero. That close to 1-0 for Atlanta United 2.
That's a goalkeeper night, ain't it? What a save by Romero, getting low. That's a great ball in from a Johnny Fortune. Great snap header, too.
Mejia. Waits for the plan to get organized inside the 18. Orji and Bryce Washington hanging out around Romero. In-swinger with the right, headed away by Bjorstall. Jennings, first touch.
good ball from Jennings.
Swept with the left. Jennings to
What a
Trejo. Johnny Fortune back. Trejo step overs. Try to get Fortune to commit. Deflected. Torres leaves it for Jennings just outside the 18. He tries to turn. Great tackle by Efren Morales.
We haven't called Efren Morales' name a lot tonight. He's been playing a lot on the back line, but there he gets the opportunity to play the 6th tonight, and a great tackle there, getting back and defusing the situation.
Crisostomo settles to Traore to get it away from Tristan Traeger. Almaguer and Traore back and forth. Too much for Crisostomo, but he gets possession kept for Las Vegas. Chipped in toward the top of the 6th. Noah Cobb, header. Chasing after it is Tristan Traeger, who's helped back to defend. Well done there to give to a Johnny Fortune. And here comes Atlanta United 2.
If you've never seen Efren Morales play before, he's a bit of an enigma physically because he's every bit a 6'3", 6'4", and very well built, but plays very well in that 6 role when he's on and he's able to consistently get minutes, which has been a little struggle for him with injuries, and he's been asked to play on the back line a lot, but he is such an enigma physically for what he brings to the table.
Listed at 6'3", 170 in your program. Traeger gets away from Traore, winds and fires and just gets it over the bar.
Tristan Traeger doesn't need a lot of space to do those sorts of things. A good touch to get inside and tries to catch the keeper a little bit flat-footed.
Romero starts things up for Las Vegas. And here comes Atlanta United 2 with the pressure. Bjorstall, K9, back to Romero, Johnny Fortune. Tried to give Romero something to think about out of the corner of his eye. Highmar will get there for Atlanta United 2. He'll go back to Garces. Garces to Bryce Washington. Trejo closing distance. Morales tries to turn from Almaguer. Highmar through Orji to David Mejia. Now there's Orji. Pushes it forward. Mejia with the left in toward the top of the box. Traeger wanted to turn, or Firmino wanted to turn. Blocked. Second chance. And it's picked off. Nicely done there by Crisostomo on the backtrack.
Some great defending at the top of the box from Las Vegas. Atlanta United 2 has had a couple really good opportunities, and they've done a great job of just getting bodies in the way, cutting out those shot lanes, cutting out the passing lanes, and just closing everything down. Great job emergency defending from both teams really this evening.
Pass back to center back Justin Garces. to Cobb and Fortune. I had to do that. He was outside the 18.
He lives there. He keeps rental property just outside the center circle.
Highmar. Too much for Fortune. Turnover. Jennings. Johnny Fortune working his way back quickly. Jennings tries to work his way through 3 or 4 players. No whistle. Play on.
That's a good tackle from Orji, but they got to get reorganized.
Trejo. Traore tried to push it past Bryce Washington. Couldn't do it. And it stays in.
Had a little English on that ball. Now you got to get reorganized again.
Almaguer kept it in. Give to Traore looking far post. Up and over everybody. Iskandarian will track it down in time near the corner flag. Highmar's there. And it's going to be a corner.
That's a good tackle from Orji in the start of that sequence, and then a great job from Las Vegas to keep things going. Atlanta has to scramble. They get reorganized. It's a great block from Washington. They managed to get a little bit of pressure on Traore as he gets that ball into the back post. But now it's another dangerous situation with a couple minutes before half.
Iskandarian surveying. He's got 5 of his teammates trying to crash the 6. Traore had a chance after the first deflection. Almaguer back to Traore. Highmar there to defend. Up in the air by Efren Morales. Up to the 3rd floor. Firmino will grab Almaguer. Almost forces a turnover. Traore couldn't touch. He was coming back from an offside position. So it'll go back to Garces. Jennings in pursuit. Noah Cobb. Simple pass to Bryce Washington. Bryce Washington going through the gears.
That is what he can bring to you right there. Get Bryce Washington. When he has moments on the ball, he can flat out move.
Mateus working his way past Crisostomo and Bjorstall. double team, picking up its momentum. Third player for Vegas got there. Trejo knocks it away, and the visitors keep possession. It was Almaguer. Trejo to Almaguer. Traeger chasing, and a foul. If you'd be so kind, how about the second most important piece of information this half?
Well, USL and ESPN, the reigning title holders, visit in-state rivals. As the USL on ESPN2 continues, Orange County SC look for a late-season surge against Sacramento Republic FC Sunday, September 18th at 5 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2.
11 days after Sacramento Republic's Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup final down in Central Florida.
That's going to be so much fun.
We're going to talk about that at the half.
First time since 2008 seeing a USL team in the U.S. Open Cup final.
Lara bumped away from the ball by Firmino, but it doesn't stick. Crisostomo to Iskandarian. Iskandarian tried to get past Highmar. Defense doubling back nicely with Firmino to gain possession. Johnny Fortune gets it back to Nelson. Orji back up to Highmar. And with 15 seconds to go, Garces back to Orji.
I wouldn't imagine we'd have too much extra time once we find out. With no stoppage time. So there it is.
And there's your whistle for the first 45 from Aleo Kalume. In this East-West crossover, what are your early thoughts after the first 45?
It's a fantastic game if you like watching goalkeepers make plays, because it's been Justin Garces and Tomas Romero making some insanely good saves in this game. It could be 2-2. All things being equal, it is 0-0.
And we will let you know what else is going on around USL Championship. There's a lot of news that you need to know about. And when we come back, we'll catch you up with everything going on here, everything going on in USL Championship, and get you ready for a very busy night in the league. Goalless here at the Fraction. We'll be back right after this.
BB&T and SunTrust are now Truist, together for better.
You wouldn't put your team on the same field as the pros. So why would you take them to the same doctor? From growth plates to emotional needs, teens are different than adult athletes. Take them where they're treated that way.
Los accidentes suceden sin avisar y conseguir el tratamiento médico que usted o un familiar merece puede resultar difícil si no cuenta con la ayuda de un buen abogado. Por eso nos dedicamos a pelear por sus derechos, asegurándonos que usted no solo reciba la compensación que merece, sino que también reciba la mejor atención médica. Le atendemos en español. 404-888-8888. Bader Law Firm, comprometidos con usted y su familia.
Piedmont believes in the people powering Georgia. It's why we're leading real change in healthcare, to give you a better, seamless, more unified experience, so you can simply access and manage your care all in one place, with tools that make it easy to find and book a doctor from almost anywhere, anytime, and even check in before you walk in. Let's keep powering Georgia's growth. Piedmont, real change lives here.
BB&T and SunTrust are now Truist, together for better.
Welcome back to Kennesaw. Goalless at the break with Atlanta United 2 and Las Vegas Lights FC. Time to take the tour around Atlanta United and around the USL Championship. First and foremost, we've been talking about Johnny Fortune a lot, and here's a bit of a bio blast for those of you that haven't had to see him on a bit of a regular basis. The 19-year-old, born in Raleigh, North Carolina. Jarrett mentioned in the pregame that homegrown contract signs and kicks in on New Year's Day this upcoming year. Got his first international call-up for the TNT national team back in January of 2021. In his 3 seasons here He's 48 appearances, 31 starts, 3 goals. This season, he's 6th on the team in minutes already with just over 1,060. His 12th start of the year and his 16th appearance this season for Atlanta United 2. So keep an eye on a Johnny Fortune going forward for the rest of the season here with the Twos and within Atlanta United. So let's take a look at the Team of the Week, a place where we'd like to see a Johnny Fortune in future weeks. Brought to us by our friends at Konami eFootball. Milan Olaski is your Player of the Week for joining the 2-goal, 2-assist club this season. Ben Lunt is in net for his performance with Phoenix Rising. You've got Moshe Bane, Yobel Perez from Charleston Battery, Maxi Rodriguez from Detroit City, Florian Velo from the Miami FC. Still waiting to see if the folks in Columbus have an issue with what the folks in Boca call themselves when it comes to teams in the USL Championship. Familiar faces from Lou City and Las Vegas, and 2 up top, your other forward, Steven Dos Santos and Luis Fernandez for Tampa Bay. That is your Team of the Week for Week 20, brought to us by our friends at Konami eFootball. This is your standings coming into tonight, and you see how there are a couple of different groups here in the East. Louisville and Tampa, they're trying to run away from Memphis 901. Memphis 901 had the hot start, had a bit of a downturn, but now they're only 4 points out of first, 3 points out of second with the match in hand with Tampa Bay. Pittsburgh Riverhounds, remember, they had that losing streak about a month or so back. They're in 4th at 37. Detroit City and Birmingham Legion, they're at 35. The Miami FC is at 31. FC Tulsa is at 25. Indy 11 at 22 points. Hartford Athletic rounds out your top 10 with only 4 wins this season, and they have 17 points in the East. Out west, San Antonio FC laying waste to everyone in the West right now. Only 16 wins in their first 20 matches. That's an 80% clip for them. San Diego Loyal, Colorado Springs, that one has gone back and forth with the 2 and the 3 in the West. New Mexico United at 35 points. They have a couple of matches in hand with the folks behind them, like El Paso. El Paso has played more matches than anybody on that page that is north of them, and folks underneath them, they've played just as many, if not more. So you've got Vegas coming in at 31. Sacramento Republic, they played the least because they've got stuff on their mind. Los Dos at 30 through 22 matches. The Roots at 24 matches already played and 29 points. RGV, they had a bit of a rough start. They have turned it around right now. They're at 7-11-4, and they round out your top 10 in the West at 25 points. That is just a small portion of what's going on in the USL Championship. Here's another piece of info that you need to know about.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Los accidentes suceden sin avisar y conseguir el tratamiento médico que usted o un familiar merece puede resultar difícil si no cuenta con la ayuda de un buen abogado. Por eso nos dedicamos a pelear por sus derechos, asegurándonos que usted no solo reciba la compensación que merece, sino que también reciba la mejor atención médica. Le atendemos en español. 404-888-8888. Bader Law Firm, comprometidos con usted y su familia.
Welcome back to Kennesaw, getting you through the USL Championship, all the news and notes and everything that has been going on in a very busy week here in the league, and get you ready for the second 45 with both teams trying to chase after full points in this East-West crossover. Let's get into news and notes, and really, frankly, Jarrett, there's really only one story in the USL Championship, and there's an early chance in the 60th there by Sacramento Republic as Sporting Kansas City came to hard health and a big save there. Why don't we go to one of the most – this is
your favorite moment of the year, isn't it?
Tyler Terrans referred to that as disgusting, and he's not wrong with Malik Foster.
The guts it takes to go with the Panenka.
Danny Vitiello comes in big with the Orange Cassidy celebration there, and then row your win. Rodrigo Lopez, bottom of the fifth. Sacramento Republic gets the Duke, and they're going to be in Central Florida. Let's just take another look.
And the flip.
The back flip. And then
the Steph Curry afterwards.
It was
everything.
It was the back flip, the finger pistols, and then the go to sleep.
Yeah.
And so great work by Sacramento Republic to make it to September the 7th, and I want to see how many folks make the trip from Sacramento to Central Florida for the U.S. Open Cup final. Very, very cool. Here's an update with your scores. Hartford Athletic, who's right now, they're in 10th, and they're fighting Birmingham tonight. That one's goalless with about 25 to go. Pittsburgh Riverhounds leading Tulsa 1-0. Loudon and Monterey Bay in a crossover. That one's goalless at the break. Tampa Bay, Indy 11 hanging in there with 30 to go, down 2-1. And I guess someone took the someone just went right into fifth gear with Sacramento Republic and Charleston Battery. You play in the midweek, you win an emotional game, you get 5 goals on the board with the game against Charleston at the break.
And Charleston's getting to the point now where they're trying to figure out who they are. This is a new era for them, but they're getting to the point where they just don't play normal games anymore. It's a good neutral watch.
All right, let's see what you need to be keeping an eye on as we go later into the evening. San Antonio FC, they get Los Dos. Gee, thanks, after winning in the midweek in a tough one. Orange County and San Diego Loyal, that one's going to be an interesting one. El Paso Locomotive, Lou City. That's a tough crossover right there with El Paso and Lou City. Phoenix Rising and the Switchbacks, that one's at 10:30. Then your game tomorrow. Red Bulls 2, who have only won 2 of their first 20, invite New Mexico United to Montclair, and that one is at 6 o'clock at Montclair State tomorrow afternoon. That's a quick tour around what's going on your scores and your schedules. We come back, we'll get you ready for the second 45. Stick and stay. It's the USL Championship on ESPN Plus. We will return.
BB&T and SunTrust are now Truist, together for better.
You wouldn't put your team on the same field as the pros. So why would you take them to the same doctor? From growth plates to emotional needs, teens are different than adult athletes. Take them where they're treated that way.
Los accidentes suceden sin avisar y conseguir el tratamiento médico que usted o un familiar merece puede resultar difícil si no cuenta con la ayuda de un buen abogado. Por eso nos dedicamos a pelear por sus derechos, asegurándonos que usted no solo reciba la compensación que merece, sino que también reciba la mejor atención médica. Le atendemos en español. 404-888-8888. Bader Law Firm, comprometidos con usted y su familia.
Piedmont believes in the people powering Georgia. It's why we're leading real change in healthcare, to give you a better, seamless, more unified experience, so you can simply access and manage your care all in one place, with tools that make it easy to find and book a doctor from almost anywhere, anytime, and even check in before you walk in. Let's keep powering Georgia's growth. Piedmont. Real change lives here.
BB&T and SunTrust are now Truist, together for better.
Welcome back to Kennesaw. No dilly, no dally. Let's get you into the highlights here as we get you ready for the second 45 minutes and how we got to this particular moment in time. And Jarrett, as we look at things here in the first half, the first 10 minutes was chaotic. The first 15 were chaotic. There's your first chance right there.
Save of the week, probably.
Big Paul early on. Then David Mejia, Tomas Romero up to the challenge on the other side of things. And then right there, right on by Mejia. Again, very busy first half when it came to chances, and David Mejia. Trejo, once again, Garza's coming up big. You got to get whatever you can in the way.
Catch it off the throat, catch it off the head, whatever you got to do.
Far post. Big save there by Romero to keep it scoreless. Let's take a look at the first 45 minutes worth of stats. This is what we see. What do we know?
Well, I mean, still no goals, but you saw a lot of shots, especially early on. Possession a little bit more balanced than I thought it would be. Fouls conceded. I'm wondering if it gets a little more physical as guys get sluggish in the second half on that wet field. And then the interceptions, going to see somebody make a wayward pass that's going to spring something that might be the difference in this game.
That's your first half stats. So let's revisit those moments that those focal points that you had, the 2x2. So these were your keys coming in as we head toward minute 46. What do you think?
Well, I mean, Atlanta's kept it clean for the most part. Made a couple mistakes with passing, but they've kept it clean for the most part in their build-up. They've been able to use their width. We saw it even with Nelson Orji getting forward and providing a little bit of a threat there, getting bodies in the box, getting wide. Now, you've done the job if you're Las Vegas. You didn't fall behind early, so you didn't have to chase the game. And you have pressured the back line, and that's been the long balls over to Trejo and over to Cal Jennings. Atlanta's center backs have just stood up and done the job. Vegas has got to keep pushing that way, though, if they're going to try and break through here.
Second 45 underway here at the Fraction. Thanks for hanging out with us. However you are doing so, large device or small. He's Jarrett. I'm John. And Cal Jennings has it for the visitors in Las Vegas Lights. They're going to be working from, as you're looking in the second 45, from your right to your left in their road whites. Atlanta United 2 in the dress blacks with the 5 stripes north and south. They're going to be working their way in the opposite direction. They're going to be going from left to right as you are looking here in the second 45. Looks like the 11s are still the 11s as we know them coming into the second 45 minutes. So Noah Cobb plays it back to Justin Garces.
I'll be interested to see how Atlanta changes up what they do up top at those front three. We saw them shift around a little bit during the first half. At times where it was Armateus kind of playing up top by himself in a more reserved role and trying to pull space and create something. Then we saw Tristan Traeger up there creating space. Nice little ball in.
By Traeger, and it was sent out by Lara. It's going to be an early corner for Atlanta United 2 here in the first minute and 10 seconds. David Mejia wanted to set up quickly, and here come the reinforcements for the twos. And so
a lot of bodies coming in.
A lot of tall timber, too. You've got the 6'3", Efren Morales. You've got Bryce Washington coming in at 6'2". Nelson Orji coming in at 6'3". In swinger with the right toward the top of the sixth, headed away. Traeger will track it down and get there before Las Vegas. And before Trejo does, he'll give it back to a Johnny Fortune.
Gives Atlanta a chance to organize their attack. Also gives them a little bit of chance to get organized on the back just in case something gets sideways. Noah Cobb being able to drop back. Highmar sitting back as well.
Mateus gets past Cal Jennings. Stopped toward the top of the arc. Cuts it centrally. Wanted to try to get it to Nelson Orji. Up into the air by Lara. Great idea by Atlanta United, too, to try to sneak Nelson Orji in. It's going to be another corner.
That's the second time we've seen it. This time it's off a set piece. It's different from earlier when he did it, but Nelson Orji able to stay up and be a target for that ball in. And Darwin Mateus just trying to use that change of pace that he has, try and find a bit of space.
Mejia up and over everybody. It's going to be...
Should be another corner.
Another corner. It's last touch by Crisostomo, so we're going to come to the other side, and we'll try it again.
Atlanta's got a couple guys who can hit these dead balls pretty well. Looks like it's going to be Highmar hitting this one.
Nelson Orji inside the 6. Efren Morales toward the penalty spot. Possibly charging, trying to get around Lara. In-swinger with the left. Flick in! On the board, Nelson Orji. And it's a goal for Atlanta United 2. Nelson Orji, second on the season. And it's a goal on the board for the home side 3 minutes into the second half. And that's what you need if you're Atlanta United 2 with a playoff team in town.
It's eerily similar to the goal that Las Vegas gave up to San Antonio in the midweek. Corner came from the same direction. It's the same kind of setup. It's a corner that's to the front post that's kind of flicked onto the back post. That one was tapped in. This one goes in clean from Orji. I thought Atlanta was trying to target Morales because he fakes his run to the back post, then goes to the front post, but it lands on Orji's head and he doesn't miss.
Second goal of the year by Nelson Orji. And all of that work that we've seen Atlanta United 2 do in the first 45 plus 3 now gives them a 1-goal lead.
Well, you talked about it, John, just the amount of size that Atlanta United 2 has on those set pieces, and they get enough of them, they were able to get a good look.
Two's trying to calm things down a little bit towards center circle. Back to Justin Garces. Cobb past Morales. Quickly in transition. Jennings. He had Iskandarian to his right. Stuck with it to his left. Tried to shoot it with the left. Noah Cobb was there to defend, and it's going to be a corner for the Lights.
It's a bad ball from Noah Cobb in the first place. Looks like he just got caught between ideas or mishit it, but he doesn't hang his head for more than a half second as they go quick off the corner and is able to get back and make the play.
Crisostomo, top of the arc, just gets a finger on it, gets a hand on it as Garces. It looked like it was sneaking to the post. Garces sends it away. It'll be another corner.
Yeah, not sure if that one was bound for inside the net or if it was going to go outside, but Garces doesn't take any chances and pushes it wide.
Let's take another look at it. Crisostomo, the seeing eye right there, and Garces.
It's so hard to pick up through just a forest of legs. It can be hard to see it until the last moment.
Iskandarian with the right, so this will be an outswinger. Or top of the sixth, headed down by Efren Morales. Possession kept by Traore. Flicked out of the 18. And the swat gets it all the way to Crisostomo, and he'll try to recycle it back in. Headed toward the top of the sixth. Nelson Orji just thumps it clear.
That's actually going to work out pretty nicely.
Yeah. Good work there.
Just a sprint team up the field, though, Atlanta United 2.
Firmino looking for Fortune. Fortune gets there in time. Top of the sixth, poked away by Romero. Second chance by Mateus. Wanted to cut past. He does. He scooped it. Header and off the line. But Firmino says it went in. The officials say no. And it's going to be a corner. A wild exchange. Atlanta United 2 thought it was the second goal on the board. It's not. It's just a corner.
We got to see it again. It's so hard from our vantage point to see.
Let's see if we can catch it from this angle. A great scoop.
Such nice work from Darwin.
Imagination there. Oh! Ooh. Oh!
Buddy.
Oh! Hang on to that one. Hang on to that one in the truck. Can we get another look? Next stoppage. I'm making a request. First time I've done it all year. Next stoppage. I want to look at that angle again. But Bryce Washington's down, and we'll keep an eye on him.
He went up for the ball with Romero, and Romero very brave going up there. Bryce tried to go up there with him, had a bit of a collision. Atlanta took that corner very quickly, I think trying to catch Las Vegas on their back foot a bit.
I think you're right. But yes, my humble request is to take another look at that angle and maybe slow it down a little bit. So when we've got a little time to take a peek, let's take a deeper look. Looking for Bryce Washington there on the through ball. It goes to Tomas Romero.
Just a step late from Bryce on that run. Right idea. Just good ball. Just one little step late, maybe a little heavy on the ball. But Atlanta United, too, smelling blood in the water right now, feeling good about themselves.
Bjorshal to Lara, back to Tomas Romero. Bryce Washington in the staring contest with Traore. Let it go. So it's a throw for the twos. All right, so let's take another look. There's your scoop. Almaguer is in the net.
Ah, man, it's so hard to tell with that angle. It looks like it's in, and that's a turnover. Looks like Atlanta United 2 is going to be able to escape it, but it's such a good scoop and a good bit of work from Darwin, who's so calm in that moment and is able to get a defender on the ground, get around him, hit that little scoop, and you think the slam dunk is there. It's so hard to tell if that's in the back of the net or not. It looks like it is.
Yeah. But we are still at 1-0 here early in the 54th at 5/3. Mateus and Efren Morales both get nutmegged on the way through. On the charge, it's Torres. Through ball to Jennings. Noah Cobb shuts it down.
Wow. What a play by Noah Cobb.
Up to Nelson Orji, and a professional foul by Iskandarian. Efren Morales is asking Iskandarian to back up, please.
That's good work from Efren Morales. Slow things down a bit here. Noah Cobb's banged up a bit. Looks like his hand.
Yeah.
But that was just outstanding effort. That was the exact ball that Las Vegas needed in that moment. They did a great job of just getting that ball through. It's a dead sprint. And at that point, it's Noah Cobb doing a great job of getting on the right side of things, then getting beat a bit by Cal Jennings just being so smart. And then Cobb is still able to get on the right side, get his foot in there, and make a play.
Almaguer from the throw-in from Bjorshaw. Took Trejo the second touch to control it. Give to Iskandarian. Past Crisostomo looking for Trejo. Bjorshaw there to clean it up and keep possession for the visitors. Trejo over to K9. Traore. Back to Lara. Crisostomo. Johnny Fortune in pursuit.
And Atlanta's fine with this right now. Let Las Vegas try and build this up as opposed to trying to hit those dangerous long balls they do so well.
Traore with the cutback, wide open at the arc, and the scoop. Big save again by Garces.
Garces probably wishing I hadn't said that, but another fantastic save by Justin Garces, who has been absolutely on one once again.
Watch Christian Torres right here. Garces had it read the entire time, got out the left hand to send it away.
Too.
Iskandarian with another corner for Las Vegas. Outswinger with the right. Efren Morales gets there first.
It's like hitting a corner into a patch of Georgia pines.
Trejo chests it down, wants to turn and flick with the left. He did control it, but it goes up and over Justin Garces for a goal kick for Atlanta United 2 late here in the 56th minute.
So now the question becomes, who makes the changes first from these two teams? Because Vegas needs to chase this and try and draw it. Atlanta's feeling good, but Vegas has had a couple chances here recently, and it's taken more work from Justin Garces. So how are they able to change it to reassert control in this situation, and what does Vegas do in response? And how does Vegas hold up physically in this game as we just get later into a compressed schedule for them on a humid night?
5 position players available for Las Vegas. Jennings gets past Cobb. Noah Cobb there to defend once more, and it's going to be a corner. Noah Cobb looks like he's still kind of feeling it with that right hip. So Iskandarian will be there to take the corner. Available to Las Vegas, Frank DeRoma, Chase Bromstead, both midfielders. Alvaro Quezada at defense, along with Antonio Leone and Nathan Ordaz at forward. So if you're looking for offensive, it would be 3 of those 5 that he has available to him. Crisostomo wins the joust with Mejia. Almaguer pushes it up and over everybody. But Bjorstad looks like he'll track it down for Las Vegas. Tries to send it in toward the top of the 6 with the left, headed away.
Looks like Atlanta's getting ready to make a change. Looks like Jackson Conway getting ready to come in.
Trejo, well defended there by Darwin Mateus. And here comes your substitution, and it looks like that will be the night for Darwin Mateus after 58 minutes, and here comes Jackson Conway.
Darwin started part of that attacking Troop up top tried to pull guys out of shape, had a couple really good moments. That little scoop, he's going to feel hard done. He's going to feel like he should have an assist, and we think he should probably have an assist. Great little scoop pass over the keeper. But overall, now you bring in somebody who's kind of more of that lighthouse in the middle of the field with Jackson Conway, who does a lot of that dirty work, and his partnership with Tristan Traeger has been really impressive this year.
Another corner here for Las Vegas. Cal Jennings tried to charge into the 6. Available for Atlanta United 2 here in the second half. You've got Emenike, you have Eric Centeno, you have Jonathan Vial, you've got Alan Carlton, and you've got Tony Tiente.
And right now, Atlanta United 2 just trying to get a foot back on the ball, try and stop some of these set pieces, and get things calmed down a little bit.
Romero looking for Trejo. Bryce Washington won that duel. Jennings couldn't touch it, so it'll go to Justin Garces.
That's what you need right now. String a couple passes together, get your foot on the ball, cool things down just a little bit. Felt like they had 2 goals, and then ever since that, Las Vegas has had a little bit of momentum here, had some set pieces, been living in your end of the field.
Morales back to Garces.
It's like Vegas.
Looks like a triple sub coming for Vegas at the next opportunity. Jackson Conway's first touch. Controls to Johnny Fortune. Morales back and forth. Cal Jennings tried to come in from behind to steal. Firmino sees Heimar to his left. Quick back and forth with the Johnny Fortune. Morales gets away from Iskandarian up to Bryce Washington. And Traeger. Conway through ball. Traeger. What's Tristan going to do with it? Tried to the cutback from Mejia. Chip. And the chance was there for Jackson Conway. Got under it a bit too much. Was leaning back. And here comes your fire wagon change for Las Vegas. It is going to be the end of Bjorshall's night. We welcome in Antonio Leone. That's it for Ima Almaguer. We welcome in Frank DeRoma. And that is the night for Iskandarian, and we welcome in Alvaro Quezada. So, Almaguer, Bjorshall, Iskandarian out, 8, 12, and 14. In 20, 24, and 28, DeRoma, Quezada, and Leone. For those of you filling out your scorecards at home.
We'll see how they change it up, how they change up their look, how they play after this. So they try and get more of a foot on the ball, get those opportunities going forward.
And a combination of having just fresh legs out there
if nothing else,
playing in the midweek. The Johnny Fortune, Tristan Traeger, back to Noah Cobb. Morales leaves for Orji center circle. Heimar called for it. Orji stepped up a good 20 yards before giving to Heimar. Heimar, and you know that Firmino wanted to turn and fire with the left. He couldn't quite control it, but a Johnny Fortune still does for Atlanta United 2, Bryce Washington.
It was a good touch, just not good enough. It's a little bit loose, and good work by the defender.
Fortune looking far post, headed down and away. Trejo, but Orji steps up nicely.
Orji has been everywhere tonight.
First touch for DeRoma. Working forward, Las Vegas. Nowhere close to having the numbers. Trejo, quick peeks over his left shoulder. First touch by Quezada. Well defended there twice by Noah Cobb as Christian Torres tried to get a shot on net. And here comes Atlanta United 2 trying to calm things down. Firmino. And forward, up and over looking for Jackson Conway. Too much on it. K9 got there first, back to Romero.
And the Atlanta United 2 able to get their back line sorted enough to slow down any quick, direct, long ball. And their midfield was able to step up and make it impossible to hit that ball. Then you get the situation where it's Noah Cobb once again being asked to make the play, and he does.
Heimar gets away from Torres. And a Johnny Fortune, we talk about calming things down, goes back to Garces and Noah Cobb working their way up the right where there's a lot of empty space. Doroma challenged briefly before Atlanta United 2 kept possession. A Johnny Fortune over to Bryce Washington. You see Jack Collison asking for working the ball quicker.
You see Jackson Conway dropping into those little spaces there in front of the center backs, trying to find that bit of space. And then on top of him, you got Firmino still up, kind of pushing that back line a little bit.
Pressure from Cal Jennings on Morales, almost forced a turnover. Fortune, Morales, Traeger playing deeper to help out. And Nelson Orji now with Highmar. Nelson Orji all the way back to center back Justin Garces.
This is what Atlanta needed. They needed to get a foot on the ball to slow things down a little bit, but they still want to be dangerous with it. They can't just play with it and not create something with it.
Pass looking for Firmino, intercepted by Las Vegas. Crisostomo down along the side. Great work there by Morales to keep the charge from Quezada from happening down the left. It ends up being a throw halfway or late here in the 64th. Doroma all the way over to the right-hand side and Leone. David Mejia there for Atlanta United 2. Toward the top of the arc, and Doroma sends it up and over the net for a goal kick here in the 65th. 25 to go. That charge from Las Vegas comes up empty. They're still down 1-0.
That's a good bit of work there to try and get matched up on Mejia, try and make him defend in that moment. You get a good look up there, but the same problem we saw with Jackson Conway, just not able to get a good touch on that bouncing ball.
Foul by K9 that time as he and Jackson Conway were posted up just shy of center circle. Here's a thought. Would you like to read the first piece of key information folks need to know here in the second half?
Sure, because you should not miss a minute of the action in 2022, whether your club is on the road or at home. Catch nearly every second of USL Championship action on ESPN+, the home of USL, MLS, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com.
What he said. 25 to go plus any other added time. Alongside Jared Smith, John Nelson here. Fifth Third Bank Stadium in Kennesaw for the USL Championship on ESPN+. And they're going to call a foul on Nelson Orji as he and Cal Jennings were chasing after the ball.
There's a bit of a do-si-do between them. They're both pulling on each other.
And Frank Doroma tried to pull a Nico Ladero there for a second. Good 10 yards off to his southwest from where center Efaleo Kalume thought that the ball should be spotted. Trejo, Torres. Trejo quickly looking for Jennings, but Mateus was there. Or sorry, Highmar was there. And Firmino back to Bryce Washington. Fortune. Morales. Past both Traeger and Quezada, and it's going to go with Las Vegas. Into the middle, and Lara. Firmino trying to keep Lara from working down the center channel. Give to Leone. Torres is there. Step over, tries to get it past Orji. Cut back. Jennings off the crossbar.
All you could do was hope if you were Atlanta United too, and the crossbar was your friend in that moment. What a strike from Jennings.
And he knows it too. He's taking a look at it in his mind all over again. That close to being tied at 1 with 23 to go. 6 goals on the season, that close to having goal number 7 for Cal Jennings.
At home as well.
Doroma, Crisostomo, Trejo, header just missed. Highmar going after it with Torres. Not saved, so it's going to be a corner for Las Vegas here early in the 68th minute.
Atlanta United 2's got just over 20 minutes to either hang on or find another goal here, and they're really feeling the backs up against the wall right now.
So Torres will take, since Iskandarian's day is done. He has Doroma with him. Outswinger with the right, and grabbed by Justin Garces.
They've been good on set pieces, Atlanta United 2 have. since early in the first half, and especially adding Jackson Conway, it adds more size on the field for those moments.
Firmino wanted to turn towards center circle, turns away from Quezada. Back to Bryce Washington, and the quick triangle springs Firmino forward. Not enough on it to be a through ball, looking for Tristan Traeger, but Traeger did keep it. And we're going to have a foul on Las Vegas, so it'll be a set-piece opportunity for Atlanta United 2. Fourth change for Las Vegas, and that will be the night for Christian Torres, and we welcome in Nathan Ordaz.
It's another attacker up top. It's somebody else. It's fresh legs to go into the attack as you're looking for that goal to equalize things.
So Ordaz comes in with about 20 to go. And discussing things, it looks like it's Highmar and David Mejia. And it looks like Highmar has yielded to Mejia. Over the two-man wall. High. Headed. Noah Cobb had the chance, and he knew it, too.
Just pushed it wide. He got there before the keeper. It's great placement on the free kick. Keeper's got to come out. He doesn't get there in time. Noah Cobb gets ahead on it, but just pushes it wide.
That close to the second goal on the board for Atlanta United 2. Ordaz's first touch. Well done, long over the top. Short angle. And they're going to say that it hit Ordaz last as Garces was there to punch it away.
That was great work from Las Vegas to go quickly, spring the attack down the right-hand side. Ordaz was, I think he was looking to go to Cal in the middle. Cal Jennings was closed down pretty well. He tried to play that little cutback run and tried to shorten his run right to the edge of the 6-yard box. But Atlanta United 2 did a good job closing that down. Ordaz really only had one option there, and that's just hit it right where he did.
Great through ball. Conway looking to Highmar. Highmar thought about it with the left. Found Mejia just inside the 18 and up and over everything. Goal kick.
We've seen Mejia hit that angle before. It's such a tight shot to try and hit. We've got a change coming. Looks like Tony Tiente.
Yep. And Tristan Traeger's night is done after 70 minutes. So Tristan Traeger gave you 70 against the Las Vegas Lights. And Tony Tiente is in. And Alan Carlton is coming in, and the night is done for Nicholas Firmino. So it's 21, not 29, or 29, not 21. So it's Firmino. So Firmino for Carlton and Morales for Tiente. So that's what it's looking like here. So Efren Morales' day is done at 70. So with Efren Morales' day done and Nicholas Firmino, what did you think about 29 and 35 tonight?
I thought 35 was good, especially 29. Just always just kind of grinding stuff out, and you need guys like that on your team. He could have some really good moments like he had at Hartford earlier this season where he had a brace and a road win. But sometimes you just need guys who can grind out those moments.
You got to look at that. Yeah, Noah Cobb got fallen on, I want to say, by Ordaz. As he was trying to defend. Ordaz coming up a little gimpy as well. The physio looking at Noah Cobb. And he is not,
feeling
right
good.
There. Right there as Ordaz came down. Get out the ethyl chloride and see if that'll help out. But yeah, Noah Cobb just completely sliding and in a helpless position. Ordaz
goes over him and comes down. And it's so hard to change your body in the middle of the fall like that.
And, you know, we look at Noah Cobb. We've talked about how he's heading to the MLS Next Pro All-Star game. And all of this last year as a 16-year-old. The confidence of someone who's 5, 6, 7 years older than that, starting when he was 15 and 16, and now he's all of the ripe old age of 17, and you're still seeing this with Noah Cobb.
He's been so impressive tonight. He and Nelson Orji have both been fantastic on that back line. They've been challenged by long direct balls all night. They've been forced into situations where they had to defend 1v1 and be the last man back. They've both done a wonderful job this evening.
74th minute now, 16 plus any other added time that Alejo Kalume decides he wants to tack on.
That speaks nothing of the fact that Nelson Orji has the goal that currently decides this game.
Yes. Vegas chasing after an equalizer north of the playoff bar in the Western Conference before tonight.
I'm interested to see what Tiente brings because we've seen him so much in the defensive roles because this team has been so thin at center back. Been interested to see what he does here where he's not playing on the back line but playing in front of him.
Leone. Highmar asking for a little help. Through ball looking for Jennings. Had too much on it. There to defend was Nelson Orji. Throw by Leone for Las Vegas. Lara chips it forward with the left. Crisostomo's got Leone to his right. That's where he goes. Highmar closes it down. Nicely done there by Highmar. And it's going to be a goal kick.
It's smart from Highmar. Does a great job there. Doesn't go diving into it. Lets the play develop and is able to shepherd it out for a goal kick. Atlanta can breathe a bit.
Right now, Vegas is in that 7th and last playoff spot. If the mythical playoffs were to start tonight. With the way things are active right now, Vegas, 31 points in 7th, ahead of Los Dos on a tiebreaker, 2 points behind El Paso, who would currently right now sit in 6th in the Western Conference.
And keep in mind, we are in the Eastern time zone. A lot of those West Coast games have not begun yet.
Yeah, USL Championship after dark or after dusk starts in about, let's see, as I look at my watch, a good hour. So we'll get to the USL Championship after dusk and dark in about an hour's time.
That's when the good stuff starts.
Foul on Traore on Alan Carlton.
Interested to see how Carlton fits into this. Haven't seen him since earlier this season. A lot of these guys coming out of the academy, we won't see them for a while. But then they go through growth spurts because that's just how teenagers work. So you get a different look, and sometimes you get physically a different player and emotionally a different player.
We saw that with Efren Morales as he worked the last handful of years and saw growth spurts and position changes and things like that. Alan Carlton holds possession for Highmar. Highmar toward the top of the box. Dangerous idea. Heading it back to Romero, but Romero disposes of it quickly, finding DeRoma. Quezada, DeRoma, K9 in the middle, being chased by Jackson Conway. Crisostomo's got Leone to his right. Too much on it as he was looking for either Trejo or Ordaz, and it ends up with Justin Garces with 14 to go.
And that's the guy you want on the ball in that moment. Crisostomo leads this team coming into the game with 28 chances created. I know he sits a little bit deeper in things, but his ability to still step up, to carry the ball, and to create is very dangerous.
Orji tried to send it up and over Crisostomo to get out of a jam. Too much on it, ends up being a throw for Vegas Lights. Traore, DeRoma, Leone, Ordaz trying to get away from Tony Tiente. Back to DeRoma. Alan Carlton marking him. DeRoma gets away from Carlton. Jennings tries to turn to his left. Well defended there by Bryce and Tristan Traeger.
And we've seen Cal Jennings has been a really tricky cover for this back line tonight. He is so savvy on the ball and so savvy at using body feints and manipulating the space around him. They've done a good job of putting a body right on him, limiting how he can turn and making sure he can't use that quick burst of speed as much as possible. And he still created chances. He's still already hit the bar.
Crisostomo to Leone. David Mejia tries to close down an angle. Back to the captain. Directing a little traffic to DeRoma in the middle. Alan Carlton is there.
It's good pressure from Carlton.
Traeger tries to get away from DeRoma. And he gets away from Quezada. And then they'll just go all the way back to Justin Garces to start it all over again. Tiente or Daz working in behind. Fortune tries to get away from Crisostomo. Tiente, center circle, Jackson Conway. Quick peek over his right shoulder, found Highmar. Highmar charging up the left. Through ball, Mejia just too much.
Looked like Mejia kind of got caught between ideas. That ball from Highmar is really good. Mejia, I thought he was going to run onto it, then decided to try and stab at it and got caught kind of between moments there. But great work from Atlanta United, too, playing out of that pressure. They did a good job, especially on that right side. Great work from Washington and Tiente.
Leone was calling for it. DeRoma sends it over there. Mejia kept Leone from going forward, so he went backward to Lara. K9, Crisostomo. Jackson Conway coming in from behind. Bryce Washington tried to stop that pass to be completed to Quezada toward the top of the sixth. Stepping in the way, Nelson Orji.
And Nelson Orji, this is the second or third time we've seen him do this. It's provoking the defense. And this one, it's a different animal because he's getting out on the counter.
No
whistle.
No whistle there. He tried to get one from DeRoma.
I think Nelson was tired of running.
Yeah, I think so too. He was both. Cal Jennings with a chance, chips it in, and we are tied. 10 to go. Game got stretched. In transition came Vegas. Nelson Orji trying to catch up with Alejo Calame about why there wasn't a foul call. You've got your cowbells and your applause for the Roswell Hornet product, and we're tied at 1 with 10 to go.
Well, that's what you've been waiting on with Cal Jennings. He's able to finally get on the end to one. It's kind of a weird play, so let's take a look at it. It's a looping ball over the top. Noah Cobb tries to get a touch and try to flip it back the other way. Isn't able to reach it, but Cal Jennings manages to stick with it. Actually got his head on it, did a great job, just stuck his forehead out there, able to push it out of the reach of Noah Cobb, and then he's able to finish the one-timer. And all of a sudden, with 10 minutes left, we are even.
7th goal of the season for Cal Jennings. And let's see what Atlanta United 2 will do here. Pretty much being in control for great portions of this match. K9 over the top of Conway, no call. Vegas Lights keeping possession with Crisostomo.
They're in a good position now, Vegas Lights are. They've been able to get their foot on the ball. They managed to create that opportunity through transition. How are they going to be able to build up something and create without just going straight through that long ball? Because Atlanta's handled that part of it pretty well for the most part.
Foul on Crisostomo on Alan Carlton. Orji, Cobb, Bryce Washington, Tiente gets away from Ordaz, give to a Johnny Fortune. Highmar, Crisostomo. Highmar cuts it inside. Crisostomo tries to push him away from the ball. Highmar kept possession looking for Conway. K9 got there first for Las Vegas. Bryce Washington got there ahead of Trejo, but he couldn't keep possession, so it'll stick with Las Vegas Lights.
Yeah, Bryce is going to get a card here for kicking up the second ball away. Ball went out of play. He went over. He saw the other ball, and he kicked it to row H. But at that moment, that keeps Vegas from being able to counter quickly with a quick throw.
Second yellow in the season for Bryce Washington. Don't think folks will really matter. That'll really matter to a lot of folks right now. Through ball looking for DeRuma. Bryce Washington there to defend for Atlanta United 2. Not enough on it looking for Ordaz. Tristan Traeger. Well done there to get out of that double team. Tiente going long ball. A lot of air under it looking for David Mejia. Lara was there to defend for Vegas. Mejia ready to go 1-on-2. Cuts it inside to his right. Goes across, finds Jackson Conway. Step over on Traore. Traore was there to defend. Alan Carlton back to Jackson Conway. Conway to Tristan Traeger.
Now Atlanta would love to set up camp here for the last 8 minutes and be able to keep pressuring and get that game-winning goal.
Carlton tries to get away from Traore. Traore touches it last. It'll be a throw for the twos here halfway through the 83rd.
Wondering if Atlanta has any more subs up their sleeves. That ball fires across the box.
Johnny Vial is available. And Eric Centeno is available for the twos.
Looks like that might be Centeno getting ready to come on.
Last touch by Tiente. It'll be a throw for Las Vegas. Back to Lara. 7 minutes in any added time from discretion left here in Kennesaw. Goal by Nelson Orji in the 48th. Goal by Cal Jennings 3 minutes ago. And Atlanta United 2 and Las Vegas Lights are tied at 1. Highmar. Back to Nelson Orji. Back to Garces.
Looks like Vial might be coming in as well or instead of.
Fortune, Cobb, Bryce Washington. Back to Noah Cobb. Triangle working with Fortune. Cobb looking towards center circle. Jackson Conway gets called for the foul as he was trying to gain possession on K9. Vegas working quickly as they're chasing after a goal that 4 minutes ago would have been a tie. Now it could mean full points on the road after a loss in the midweek to the top team in the Western Conference. Trejo closed down on. Jennings back to Trejo, but 4 Atlanta United 2 players are there. A lot of mustard on that pass. Tristan Traeger had to hang on to it and step up quickly. Cobb with the right. Traore couldn't control it. Conway does. Carlton push to Traeger. Centrally, Carlton. Quickly now, Tiente.
Has got a bit of space to run.
Has Highmar to his left. That's where he goes. Just outside the 18. Far post. Up and over. Down. Conway sweeps. Big save, Romero.
That's a header off the line. I'm not sure who that was.
We'll take a look at the replay. I thought it was Romero's.
I think it was both.
I thought it was like Romero's right hand. Trying it again, round 2. Popped up into the air. Johnny Fortune gets there before Ordaz does. 5 minutes, under 5 to go. Nelson Orji, Bryce Washington. Traeger. Orji's got room, and he's feeling it. Big save. Romero pops it up into the air. K9 gives to Quezada. Bryce Washington trying to keep the pressure on for Atlanta United 2. And it's going to stick with the visitors. But here's a chance for Atlanta United 2 to press because you're right there in the corner.
You got it.
And let's take another look at it. There it is. Pounded. Oh, it was headed. You did get it. Yep, it's all you. It was a header off the line.
That was Lara getting his head in the way, doing a great job. That thing's goal bound.
So that's it for David Mejia. Jonathan Vial is in with a handful of minutes to go. Eric Centeno is in for Bryce Washington. So Jack Collison, he's going for broke here. And so Chase Bromstead coming in for Deckel Kynan. His day is done.
Centeno, a very crafty player, can create a lot out there on the right side. Vial in the middle, so good on the ball, just capable of creating a bunch of guys standing around wondering where he went, but also creating those dangerous set-piece opportunities.
Slip. Here come the twos with a chance, but Traore regroups, gets it to Roma. Crisostomo, Orji was closing. Charging up through the middle, Chase Bromstead with his first touch. Trejo looking for the through ball, and there was Centeno. Fortune has Vial. Jonathan Vial's first touch. Tries to get around Jennings, and he does twice. Vial tries to go through ball to Conway. Lara was there. He slipped in the middle of the pitch again. Here comes Atlanta United 2 and Traeger. Alan Carlton looking for Vial. Vial tries to draw a penalty, nothing there. They're going to call goal kick. Working quickly, Las Vegas trying to go over the top. Jennings and Ordaz are there. Flag stays down. Jennings will get there. Nelson Orji.
Great work from Orji once again.
Stands in the way. Highmar tells Nelson Orji, I got it. Working his way up the left. Jonathan Vial.
He's getting stretched out once again. Look at all this space. We've seen it. Las Vegas able to go with that long ball, but now Atlanta able to skip the lines on this passing, finding space, and now Vegas has to reconnect their defense.
Centeno, step over. Chip toward the top of the 6, just over Jackson Conway. Looking towards center circle, but there to defend. Tony Tiente to keep it away from Ordaz. Here come the twos again with Centeno. Orji, Vial, step over again around Daruma. Pass just inside the box. Centeno looking for Fortune. Cut back. Here comes Atlanta United 2 again. Alan Carlton. He'll step over and try. Wanted to chip with the left. Vial gets bumped out of the 18, trying to keep possession. He'll call a foul. And here comes Vegas quickly. Ordaz with Trejo and a head of steam. 2-on-1. He's got Jennings. Can Jennings get there before Garces? Garces off his sternum met Cal Jennings at the top of the box.
He's been called into service a couple times. What a save once again, Justin Garces, and just stretching and running as hard as possible. I don't know how Cal Jennings has anything left.
Off the body in the save. So as
Jack Collison's getting a yellow.
Jack Collison hot with the center ref. So as while we wait for the final corner to come, or the final piece of information, sir, while we wait for the corner from Las Vegas.
Well, if you can't watch the match, turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern.
Outswinger through. We'll pick up that promo in progress in just a second. Bromstead swept around by Ordaz and over and past the bar. Please continue, sir.
Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more, all on Sirius FC 157 and the SXM app.
2 minutes added.
Feels a little light.
Yeah, with all the substitutions and the injuries, yes, I would tend to agree with you. But 2 minutes have been added. Tiente lets Vial go past, gives it to him. Looking to get Tiente into the middle of the pitch. Lara's there first. Crisostomo now. Down the middle stripe. Through ball looking for Jennings. Nelson Orji and a red.
He was going to say that Orji was the last man back. He motioned that elbow up as well. Let's take a look at it.
Jennings calling for it. Let's take a look. And Orji trying to push away with the left. Jennings goes down. Kalume views it as a red card, so Nelson Orji is out. In the last minute here in Kennesaw, Crisostomo arguing his case. There's your through ball. So here, and there's Orji with the push.
The thing being, though, that if Orji doesn't bring him down, that Jennings is through in on goal with the ball.
Everybody back. Save.
Oh, what a save.
Again by Justin Garces. Atlanta United defends at the line. Vial tries to get around Daruma. Stop, start. He does, but then he loses control. Here comes Ordaz. We're north of 92 minutes now. Tiente down, and you're going to get a foul, and that will do it. You catch your breath yet?
No, not yet.
So the Nelson Orji Red was the last element of note. Both teams hang on to a point here in Kennesaw. Vegas Lights, Atlanta United 2, 1-1 draw. And when we come back after this, we'll put a bow on it all. It's the USL Championship on ESPN+. Stick and stay. We will be back.
You wouldn't put your team on the same field as the pros. So why would you take them to the same doctor? From growth plates to emotional needs, teens are different than adult athletes. Take them where they're treated that way.
Los accidentes suceden sin avisar y conseguir el tratamiento médico que usted o un familiar merece puede resultar difícil si no cuenta con la ayuda de un buen abogado. Por eso nos dedicamos a pelear por sus derechos, asegurándonos que usted no solo reciba la compensación que merece, sino que también reciba la mejor atención médica. Le atendemos en español. 404-888-8888. Bader Law Firm, comprometidos con usted y su familia.
Piedmont believes in the people powering Georgia. It's why we're leading real change in healthcare. To give you a better, seamless, more unified experience. So you can simply access and manage your care all in one place. With tools that make it easy to find and book a doctor from almost anywhere, anytime. And even check in before you walk in. Let's keep powering Georgia's growth. Piedmont. Real change lives here.
Welcome back to Kennesaw. 1-1 draw with Atlanta United 2 and Las Vegas Lights. And right there, that is your man of the match, brought to us by our friends at Piedmont Orthopedics. No real shock that it was Justin Garces tonight, Jarrett.
No, it wasn't. Garces was just absolutely on one from early in the match. Made what you might see as a USL save of the week in the first few minutes on a wonderful free kick. Wonderfully struck free kick. Goes up and pulls it out of the upper 90. It makes 8 saves on the night, including a couple really impressive ones late. It stops Cal Jennings on a breakaway. Then at the very end, on a really tricky ball in the box, is able to get low and make a save. Look, goalkeepers can sometimes steal points for you. Justin Garces has absolutely been on one for the last 2 games. Great game for him.
Let's take a look at the final stats. These are your final numbers. This is what we see. What did we learn about tonight?
We learned that teams have hard, especially a team like Las Vegas, who comes in here, they're tired, they're beaten down, they had a rough, long travel after a hard game in the midweek. They go down early, but then they get that opportunity in the second half, and it's Cal Jennings, who's coming over and applauding the hometown fans, who makes the difference. It gets them that goal. It was a bit of a chaotic game at times. Really got open early, really got open late. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Let's take a look at the next 5 for each of these. And it's been a bit of a rough travel week for Vegas. You see a lot of ats coming up for Las Vegas. At Phoenix, at San Antonio, at Orange County before they go back home for Sacramento Republic and RGV.
The good news is all of those are on the western side of the Mississippi River.
Yeah.
Let's begin there. The Phoenix is going to be a tough matchup. Going to San Antonio, man. We just watched Atlanta. We just watched Atlanta go through that. It's such a tough game. And Vegas played San Antonio really well, I thought. Orange County, then Sacramento, then Rio Grande Valley.
For Atlanta United 2, they were just home. 3 of your next 4 are on the road. At Birmingham Legion, which is always a tough place to play, especially at Progressive.
Those 2 teams.
You go to Montclair on short rest. Then you come back here on the 13th for the next home match against the Miami FC. Then you go on the road again to Loudoun and Pittsburgh. That's a tough 5 to get you through August.
It's a very tough 5. Birmingham's always a tough game. It's always a fun game between these 2 teams. Last time was a 3-3 barn burner. Atlanta will be looking to avenge their 1-0 loss earlier in the season against Red Bulls. Then you get the home game and the quick road trip up to the Northeast.
Full points were on. Full points are being chased tonight. Neither team got them. Atlanta United 2. Nelson Orji gets a goal on the board. Cal Jennings, the hometown product, got the tiebreaker, although we thought that one might be the game winner. But 1-1 draw by the time we were done. Big night for Justin Garces. For Jarrett Smith and everybody here at Kennesaw State, I'm just John. Thanks for hanging out with us for another round of the USL Championship on ESPN+. Play it safe, everybody. We'll see you next time.
copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.